Hi everyone, welcome to Craft and Create. This is Catherine from the Floriston Public Library. Today I'm going to show you how to make pretty rolled paper flowers. Here are some examples of ones that I made earlier. For this craft, you'll need scissors, a pencil, some glue, and various kinds of paper. You can use scrapbook paper, book pages, cardstock, colored craft paper, and you can even use old maps. A toothpick, and a bowl or lid to use as a circle template. You're going to want something that you can have a circle between 2 to 4 inches. I'm going to use a bowl. The first thing you want to do is choose your paper. I have some book pages, some different colors of paper. I have some cardstock that has a map on one side and a grid design on another, and then I have just some different colored cardstock. The cardstock works well, but it does make tighter flowers and doesn't roll quite as easily. I'm going to use a book page, and this is from an old encyclopedia. So you want to turn your bowl upside down if that's what you're using, and you want to take your pencil and trace a circle. Then you want to go ahead and cut out your circle. Once you have your circle cut out, you want to draw a spiral on your circle, and you want to have a narrow end. So I'm going to start here and then just draw a spiral. And you don't want the spiral to have a lot of circles. You want it to be a fairly loose spiral. And then you cut your spiral out, starting at the narrow end. Okay. Once you have your spiral cut out, we're ready to start rolling the paper. Before you roll the paper, you can erase the pencil marks, which is why it's good to use a pencil so that they don't show up on the inside of your flower. Okay. And then you want to start rolling the paper at the narrow end. I found that it's easier to take the narrow end and wrap it around the toothpick to start the roll. Otherwise, you have to fold the paper, and it creates almost a triangle shape in the center that I didn't like. This way, it keeps it round in the center. And then once you have the roll started, you can pull the toothpick out, and then you just want to keep rolling around the spiral. You don't want it too tight, and I've got this fairly tight. I do tend to roll them probably tighter than it should be, so you want to try and keep it fairly loose. It does take practice. This is just showing you how to do it, and you can practice more and see what works best for you. And when you roll, it doesn't have to be perfect. Each layer does not have to be perfect. You want them to kind of overlap, because that's what makes the petals of the flowers. want to roll it all the way down the spiral to this flat part. This flat center part of your spiral is actually going to become the bottom of your flower. So once you have it rolled, you want to let it expand and loosen a little bit, or however much you want to make a bigger flower. And then you hold it and you take your glue and you put some glue. It helps if you open the glue. You put some glue in the center of the flat part, kind of on, oops, on the bottom of your flower. And then you press the glue to the bottom of your flower. Not too hard because you don't want to flatten your flower. And you can let it expand a little bit more. You just want the glue to stick. And if you need to, you can peel it back. And I've had to do this a couple of times and add some more glue to the center. And then put it back over. And then you put it. And this one's a little tight because, like I said, I do have a tendency to roll stuff tight. This is one I made earlier that I didn't roll as tight, and it's a little bit bigger of a circle. You can, depending on how big you make your circle and how many circles you have in your spiral, affects the size of your flowers. And it's kind of fun to have different size flowers. So there's our finished flower. This is a blue flower that I made earlier, and I used some decorative scissors to make kind of a ruffled petal edge, which is a nice variation. And this is one I made with cardstock that had polka dots on one side and a pretty red design on another side. And this one is tighter than the other ones because the cardstock is heavier and thicker, but it still makes a nice flower. Then to add stems, one way to add stems, and here's one that has a metal stem if you want to put your paper flowers in a vase. You take a needle and just poke holes, 2 holes in the bottom, and then I just use some craft wire I have at home, but you can also get some floral wire at the dollar store. And through the holes, I just put the craft wire, and then I twisted the 2 pieces of wire to make a stem, and then this can go down in a vase. Thank you for watching Craft and Create. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make flowers. Join me next week for a new craft adventure.